JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 3rd of November 2020. So yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday's afternoon session where we're gonna have a quick look at the markets, view the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos. And of course our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yep, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. Now, jumping into the charts. Now, I'll quickly go through a few indices, a few instruments that I looked at this morning, basically just to see how everything is getting along and how kind of did my morning analysis do. So, this morning I said to you guys to keep an eye on this barrier right here, the 23.6% retracement on the Fibonacci. This morning I was saying that we had it already a bit of a move above it, and there is a good chance we could see a further move north, potentially initially aiming for this 11,957 territory, and then of course we do have that psychological 12,000 zone or the 12,103 territory, which is this 38.2% retracement on the Fibonacci, and we're getting close to that. Of course, we'll keep an eye on this downside line taken from the high of the 19th of October, and in a way, from the technical side right now, if it provides good resistance, then yes, we could see another slide. But of course, due to the specific circumstances, if we can call it that way, of course, we do have the presidential elections lined up, and it could be quite an interesting, eventful time, if we could call it that way. Now, the reason why I'm saying that, in a way, once the results are out, let's not forget that they're not going to be the final ones, and once those are out, then yeah, there could be some market reaction, which probably won't kind of follow any technical analysis guidelines. So that's why, guys, be very careful on that. Probably again, it's up to your discretion, but stay safe, have your stop losses in place, guys. And yeah, for now, looking at this picture, the technical picture here on DAX, yes, we could see a bit more upside, but if this downside line does provide resistance, then we could see another slide here. But of course, let's see how that's going to play out. Similar story here with NASDAQ. Yesterday, I talked about NASDAQ and in my Traders Tea Time as well, and I was telling you guys to keep an eye on this potential recovery here, which happened beautifully. The NASDAQ, let's have a look at NASDAQ cash index right now and where it's currently trading at, because we still have around 10 minutes left until the opening bell. The price is currently sitting at around 11,150 zone, so basically above yesterday's close here. So it's sitting somewhere around here basically, so there is still a good chance for this one to go for a bit of a larger correction here to the upside. But if this downside line also provides good resistance, another slide could be possible. For me to consider the upside, also I would need to see a push above this barrier right here, this 11,467 territory right here, marked by the high of the 29th of October, and then yes, of course, higher levels could be met, because at the same time the price would be placed above the 21-day EMA, and yep, as I said, more buyers could join in. Now, jumping into DXY, another dollar index, and look at the not a collapse, I wouldn't call it a collapse, but a significant drop, I would say. So it's back below this 93.90 zone. So this is what I was talking about this morning. I was saying that if it remains above this 93.90 zone, then yes, we could consider higher levels here. But if it drops below this area but stays above this upside line, then this whole area for me is a bit of a neutral one, because even if I want to look at some lower levels, I would prefer to wait for a break of this upside line and then a drop below the 93.13 zone right here, in order to get a little bit more excited with, like I said, lower levels. But at the moment, we're stuck here, so we're below this 93.90 zone, but we're still above the 21-day EMA and this one up on this upside support line. So probably on this one, let's wait and see. And especially, of course, let's see how the whole election night will go through. Gold is pushing higher. Of course, dollar is sinking, and this commodity, the precious metal, gold is popping higher. It's breaking this downside line taken from the high of the 18th of August. I talked about this, and but it's not really there yet for me to kind of, let's say, examine the upside. I need to see a push above this 1911 territory right here in order to get a little bit more excited with the upside. So again, we're not far from there, but we're not there yet. So for now, like I said, I'll continue observing this, and again, gold is going to be one of those that might move severely, especially if DXY starts jumping around heavily. So yep, keep your eyes on that one and be very careful. WTI oil also getting a boost, and you look at this beautiful move. So this is what I talked about this morning. Basically, what I'm saying that in order to consider the downside now, I would need to wait for a drop below this, the lowest point of September, near the 36.15 territory right here. But that drop never happened. Instead it pushed back above this upside line. But even so, I cannot still talk about higher levels until I get a nice good push above the 38.31 level. This is what I mentioned to you guys this morning as well. This level, I've pointed it out, and look at this. For now, it's acting as a very nice area of resistance. So let's see if it can get broken, and if it can, then yep, in a way this could open the door towards higher levels. So again, keep your eyes on this one. Don't get me wrong, it could push a little bit higher here, find a bit of resistance near these EMAs, reverse back down, maybe even all the way here back towards this upside line, and then rebound and push higher. So we have seen something like that happening several times. So yeah, keep that in mind. But the kind of the outlook could change more to the short-term outlook could change to a more positive one. So especially if, like I said, if it climbs, if the price climbs above this 38.31 zone. So let's keep an eye on that one. Litecoin. Litecoin is, I haven't looked at Litecoin for quite a while, as you can see by the arrow that has kind of shifted a little bit more to the left. Basically, the idea still kind of remains, to be honest, the same, because as I mentioned to you previously, that in order to consider maybe a bit of a move lower here, I would need to see a drop below this 51.36 territory. But at the moment, the only thing that we're getting is a test of that area. So in a way, I'll keep an eye on this idea, where if we get a drop below this 51.36 zone, then I'll monitor this upside support line taken from the low, the 21st of September, and if that gets a nice rebound from here, then yes, another push higher could be possible. However, if you're looking for something more downside, well, wait for at least a break of this upside line, and then we could take it from there, guys. But at the moment, it's a little bit of a difficult one. So also one of the levels that I'm going to keep an eye on here is the 48.50 territory right here. A nice good drop below it may open the door towards lower areas, guys. In case the price doesn't move below this 51.36 territory, and instead it starts reversing back up, well, what I'm going to take a look at is this level here, the high of yesterday near the 56.80 territory. A nice good pop above it may open the door towards the upside. So again, there is a lot to consider here, guys, but I'll try, like I said, we always try to look at all the options in case, kind of like I said, well, not in case, but in order to protect ourselves. AUD USD. So look at this beautiful move here. This morning I talked about this pair as well, and what I was saying that in a way I'm going to remain a little bit on the neutral side, even if it pushes above the 0.7085 territory right here. It did push nicely above it, and look at this move, and look at this nice test of this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 1st of September. Now the big question here is, can we actually push further north, and can we overcome it, and can we also overcome this 0.7158 zone? If we can, then yep, higher levels could be met. If we cannot, then, well, I mean, this could reverse back down. It could start trading here a little bit in this area. So yeah, as I've mentioned to you this morning, that still this area for me is going to be somewhat of a neutral one. In order for me to consider the downside, I would like to see the daily candle dropping heavily below the 0.70 territory right here somewhere, and yep, further declines then could be possible, because such a move would confirm a forthcoming lower low. AUDCHF now pushing nicely to the upside. Again, the same what I was talking about this morning. If you remember, then I was saying that yes, we could see a push higher. We could see a move above this 0.6493 territory. We did so. We get a nice move higher. But now the big question here is, can this downside line provide resistance? This downside line is taken from the high of the 2nd of September. Again, all eyes are on this one. If we see a break of it, then yep, that's great news. Could be great news for the buyers, but we would still prefer to see a push above the 0.6571 territory right here in order to get a little bit more excited with higher levels. USD CAD now, USD CAD, beautiful move. Look at this one. I mean, this morning I talked about this 1.3180 territory, and look at this beautiful slide here below this zone. Now, what I was talking about this morning was that if we do see a drop below this 1.3180 territory, my next target is the 1.31 level right here. But given the fact that we already had quite a decent decline, I mean, I would say it's a little bit of a difficult one right now here, because it would be quite interesting to see if this can actually retrace somewhat and then maybe get another drop. So basically, in other words, if we look at something like an 1 hour chart, you can see that yes, we already had a nice drift lower here today. So basically, maybe if it could travel a little bit to the downside, recover somewhat, and then if it fails, for example, to move above the 1.3180 territory, then we could see another slide. So basically, coming back to the daily chart, it's at the moment, if you haven't done anything here, and you're for example, if you're still in the trade, then yes, wonderful guys, good for you. However, I would really put my stop loss right now on a break even here, but again, of course, you be the judge. In case this suddenly reverses back to the upside, just not in order to kind of protect yourselves. Now, don't get me wrong, it could continue traveling lower, and I'm still targeting this 1.31 territory. And basically, in a way, if you would be in the trade right now here, then yes, I would continue targeting this 1.31 zone. But if you're thinking of entering something here, again, if you have entered here, for example, and you're still in the trade, this could reverse back up here. Maybe it will fail to reach this 1.3180 zone and then drop lower again. So basically, that's why it's a little bit better, instead of kind of jumping into here into this one right now here and dragging this pair, or at least trying to drag this pair towards this 1.31 zone. But again, guys, this is just an idea. You be the judge. You know yourselves better. For now, basically, what I'm keeping an eye on here is I want to see how this daily candle is going to end up being today. But something tells me that we could see a bit of increased volatility here, so a bit of jumping around here could be possible. So again, be very careful, be very cautious, and let's see how all this is going to play out. That's why I'm going to jump nicely into GBP JPY here, and look at this beautiful move this morning. I talked about this, guys, and this morning we were still hanging around in this triangle, and what I was saying, that if we get a breakout through this 135.45 level, yes, I'll aim for some higher levels. Look at this beautiful move, guys. I mean, if you were in this one, then congratulations. So We didn't really move lower. Instead, we moved higher. Okay, great. We're now testing this 100-day EMA here, shown as the green line. We're still below it. It seems that this line is providing good resistance here. And by the way, I'm looking at the 4-hour chart right now. Now the big question here is, can it actually continue pushing higher? But coming back into a daily chart here, you can see that on a daily chart we have tested the 21-day EMA, and now it's retracing back down a little bit. Now if you want to look at some higher levels, probably I would like to see how this daily candle is going to shape up today, because again, given the specific day, that's why we would, like I said, I don't want to rush into anything. If you manage to capture something here, great guys, but if you haven't, probably wait this one out. Let's wait for this one to give us another good kind of signal, another good kind of formation, in order which we could kind of try to let's say take advantage of, let's say. So yeah, and then like I said, and then we'll take it from there. So basically for now guys, I'm keeping an eye on this one. I'm just not really going to do anything, although it is quite tempting to go further north here, but of course we do have a few lines that we could draw here, a few tentative lines, but like for example, let me just grab this one very quickly right here. We could draw this one again. It's a tentative one, so this is basically, hypothetically, this is where the pair could still go here and test this area, but yeah, let's not be too greedy, and let's take just what we have. Euro USD. So beautiful move here, and this is what I talked about this morning. Basically I was saying that we may see a bit of a correction here to the upside towards this 1.1696 territory, and then we'll take it from there. Now what I was saying as well, that if we get a pop above this, then yep, it could open the door towards some higher levels. But now, given that the pair seems to be struggling for now to move further north, I would like to see how this daily candle is going to shape up, because what I don't want to see here is, or actually I wouldn't say I don't want to see here, but it would be quite interesting to see if this is not going to form a false breakout today. So if it's going to form a false breakout, then well, all eyes again are on this 1.1612 territory, because that's the level that I'm considering here, a break of which could open the door towards lower areas, because a nice good drop below it, yep, would confirm a forthcoming lower low and place the rate below the lowest point of September. For now, the pair is kind of battling here. In a way, it still has some potential to move higher. I mean, look at this beautiful move today. Beautiful surge. The next target, if you're looking for something here on a daily chart here, especially looking at the next target, could be this 21-day EMA. But similar story as with USD CAD, guys. I don't want to rush into anything here, because at the moment, at this point in time, you could enter here, it could start retracing back down, maybe you have your stop loss somewhere around here, it could trigger your stop loss and then reverse back to the upside. So basically something like that standard thing where we get caught out. So that's why I would, if it travels further north, great. Probably it's great, of course, great for those who have entered here somewhere and still holding the position. But again, keep in mind that there could be a possibility of seeing maybe this one as a false breakout. So like I said, let's see how all this is going to play out today. And of course, have your stop losses in place. Be very careful, because well, it could be an interesting time. So, okay, I'll have to wrap it up here, guys. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your views, guys. I appreciate your likes. I really do, and I hope you found it useful. That's probably the most important for me, but I hope, not probably, but the most important for me. If you found it useful, that's great. So thank you very much for joining in. If you want to catch my video tomorrow morning, as always, my Traders Espresso, 7 o'clock GMT time. It could be quite an interesting one, of course, given we'll see what's happening in the market, and yep, we'll take it from there. So thank you very much, guys. Have a nice evening, and see you later. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.